أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. عباد الله، إن الله تبارك وتعالى يقول: وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لحم وتحزن وإن دار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصبروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يغفر لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. This is the day of Eid El-ADHA, and we come today at a place with and crossroads. We are gathered in a season where our spiritual realities are colliding directly with our civic responsibility. We are faced with the special days of Eid El-ADHA, the festival of sacrifice, and yet everywhere you look, the political programs are going on, the rallies are gathering steam, and the air is thick with the rhetoric of Nigerian political decisions. Many people ask, what has faith got to do with politics? If religion is place of worship and give the faith to the politicians. But that is a mistake. Faith is the moral anchor of every society. If our faith does not inform our character, then our faith will fall into the game. Today, let us look at the intersection of faith, politics, and the ultimate death of the righteous faith, of the righteous leadership, the fulfillment of promise. The blessing of this little Allah as a covenant in our life. To understand the weight of the promise, you must look at the spiritual foundation that led to the dedication of little Allah. We remember the kindness narrative of Prophet Ibrahim and the son Ismail. Ibrahim was a man who waited decades for trials. Yes, when tested by Almighty Allah, to sacrifice that which was there for him, he did not waver. Why? Because Ibrahim understood that the covenant with God is absolute. Look at how Allah described Prophet Ismail with any phrase in the Holy Quran. Allah will not reveal to God Ismail, is not required historically out to affirm a Rasulullah Nabiyyan. As mentioned in the book Ismail, indeed, he was true to his promise and he was the messenger of the prophet. When his father told him of the vision, Ismail did not run or make excuses. He fulfilled his part of the promise with patience and submission. Eid El-ADHA is not just holiday for sharing meat. It is not just holiday for wearing fine clothes. It is another monumental reminder that in our world, even when it costs us everything, even when it requires personal sacrifice, it is the highest manifestation of faith when we give our word. We are entering the political season. This is a period when our national aspects are come to a marketplace of lofty policies. Politicians are talking to our messages and they are smiling, shaking hands, disturbing us with a lot of things that they will do. They will promise us of everything. But as Nigerians, we are not familiar with the basic pattern. Now, political things. Policies are often treated like campaign sugar to the air. But who takes it long to moving the vote of public decision? On the gate of the state houses, or they have the legislative chambers, snapshots. The voters who cool in his proposition are too easily forgotten. Therefore, is not fairly. Our faith heavily judges this behavior. In Islam, making a promise is not just that promise. It is a fundamental flaw in a person's faith. Allah says, Quran 2:204 that وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُشْرِكُ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيُشْرِكُ اللَّهَ عَلَىٰ بِقَلْبِهِ وَهُوَ يَغْفِرُ الْكُفْرَانَ. And Allah says, and for the people see, whose speech pleases you in godly life, and because Allah committed and the word in his heart, yes, is the greatest enemy to what he's telling you. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that there are these signs of a monarchy that the signs of a hypocrite are free. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. Whenever he promises, he prays him. If he is trusted, he proves the terror. promises to the poor, they are working towards more righteous political destruction. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, true leadership is not about the leaders of the number of the community or the unity of the office. It is about the everybody of the people and the essence of everyone Islam. Allah told you that, and Allah commanded that وَأَنْتُمْ بِالْعَادِ إِنَّ الْعَادَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا, and fulfill every commitment, fulfill every promise. Indeed, the commitment, the promise will be questioned on the day of judgment. Our time is now, as people of faith, to demand is close to our God to us. Accountability to our God, we will have them that we reminded them of what they are supposed to do. We should not be divided, not let us be deceived. But to say it's from my side, it's from my group. We should look for somebody who can do the right thing for us at the right time. For us, we should carry their life that our God should be our bond. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we cannot survive on earth victories anymore. The political system is different. Let the lesson of Jesus are really clearly in our hearts. Let us remember that God honors those who fulfill their promises and stand by their word. So our politicians, we say be careful of the words that you speak on the campaign video. So you will account for every single one of them, if not to the citizens of this nation, but to the mercy of Allah who has given you the opportunity. To the citizens, we say stay firm, protect your dignity, and vote with an informed conscience. May we see a Nigeria where leaders use their promises as sacred ground, and let our collective choices lead into land of peace, dignity, and their prosperity. We also use the opportunity to pray for all our leaders that Allah in His infinite mercy continue to guide them alive and continue to support them so that our country will become the best of all the places.
You know, the essence of our celebration here is about fulfilling promise. And the fundamentals of this celebration, of this Eid El-ADHA, is about fulfilling promise. If you are a Muslim and you celebrate and you have taken an oath, not just even in the office, but anywhere you have taken an oath that this is what you intend to do, if you don't do it, to us as Muslims, Allah says those who say things that they don't do, Allah says it's a sin that He hardly that's a sin that He hardly forgive. The message is that we should know that Eid al-Adha is about sacrifice, it's about patience, and it's about obedience. All this we should understand that when we are patient and we are obedient, patient with whatever condition we find ourselves, obedient to the yearnings and the teachings of Almighty Allah. When we do this, our life will be better, our country will be peaceful.
We thank Allah for making us to see today, and we thank the people who have organized this prayer. We thank all of you journalists who have come to cover the occasion. I'm not talking about the significance of today's celebration. It has to do with sacrifice. You know, Anabi Ibrahim, that's Abraham in the Bible, was asked to sacrifice his son. And he promised Allah, if you give me a son, a child, I will sacrifice him. And then the vision came. And he was reminded of his promise. And, well, it was very difficult for him, but he had no choice than to, as a believer in God, that's the father of faith. And he made the move. And he was about to sacrifice his son when Allah replaced that son with a ram. And that is the significance of slaughtering ram today. And this game, like I said, is about sacrifice. Are you ready to sacrifice for yourself, for your society, for God, for the country? In our own case, for our country, Nigeria, are we ready to sacrifice? It's not just taking from the country. Are we ready to do our duties so that we can get our rights? Like I've said, well, my message to Nigerians is that they should be peaceful. We must, whatever we do, whatever, peace is very crucial. Without peace, there cannot be development. Without peace, there cannot be progress. I'm appealing to Nigerians to be peaceful and we help each other. Those who have, let them help those who do not have. The times are hard, but like the prophet said, the food that is not for one person can even go for two people if they are believers. So share with your people, and that's the essence of today's celebration. Share. The ram you are slaughtering is not just for you and your family alone. It's for your neighbors, it's your people. Share with the people. It's very important. For me, I think many Nigerians should realize this fact. It's not just about amassing wealth, billions, that they cannot even spend before they die. And some of them, when they leave the wealth for their children, the children come to just waste the. Some of them go into drugs. And of course, anything you acquire illegally, if you do not purify it, it's wrong to even acquire anything illegally. But whatever you have, you must purify it. How do you purify? By sharing with others. You must be your brother's keepers, and as Nigerians, we must hold our allegiance to this country. We must be loyal to the country, and we must do our duties. That's very crucial. And I keep on talking about duties. Everybody must do his duty. Because if you don't do your duty, how do you get your rights? You must do your duty. That is why everybody, you see, governance is not a one-way thing. People talk of leadership. Are we talking about followership? It's not just about leadership, it's also about followership. If you have good leaders, you must have good followers. Of course, even the leaders of today, they grew through the society. And that's why they say a society deserves the type of leadership it has. It's only when you groom your followership very well that you can get good leaders. If you don't groom your followership today, you are going to get bad leaders. And that's why those that are leaders today, let them have a rethink. Don't just acquire wealth. You have the opportunity. You are just lucky that God has given you the opportunity. Don't waste that opportunity. The opportunity you have today can help you in the hereafter.
Okay, first I'll say Salaam Alaikum and Eid Mubarak to everybody. And the lecture for today was saying about leaders keeping to their promises, and it's the campaign time. And as we all know that some of these promises are made, they're made because, just for the sake of campaign, but they don't know what to carry with it. But Islamically, when a promise is made, especially from our leaders, it's binding on them. And becoming a leader, the responsibility of everybody under you automatically comes back to you, and you have to answer for every individual on the day of judgment. That's the most important part of it. So when you make promises, especially within the campaign, and then you make even religious promises, then it is binding on you. You might think you get away from it here, but the hereafter is something we'd all have to answer to. Even if within your family has a leader, it's binding on you, on the family. And then if you're a chairman, a councillor, whatever it is, it goes on like that. Those under you, it goes all the way until you become the president, where the whole nation is under you and everybody is under you. So the protection of those people who comes under you, and if anything goes wrong with anyone and they don't forgive you, then it's binding on you, and you would have to, recall and answer to it on the day of judgment. I think it's because not keeping to their promises, because the people within the society don't do what they should. There is a process that is even there within the system where if there is a non-performing leader that has been elected, they can be recalled by their constituency. And people are not doing that. So I think that's one of those things we have to start putting into prospect of what, if they're not performing, we should start, even from the grassroots coming up. And when councillors, chairman, everything, Anybody that is not, House of Reps, State House of Assembly, President, if they're not doing their work, we recall them. That's the starting point. We have to start learning to recall these people when they're not doing their job, and then for them to be accountable for all they have been given, and they must account to us. So the people it's not like get your leaders and forget it. You get the leaders and make sure these leaders actually, what has been given to them for your people, for your side, and then they must account for it and make sure that what they say they're going to do, they do it, and you hold them responsible. If they don't do, we recall them. That's it.